The king, the big daddy of them all, is it is California Wine Month, and lots of events are jam packed within this stretch. To think about all the different regions we have. I mean, it's California's. It's not just the Napa Valley, that is for sure. Gladys Horiuchi is with Discover California Wines and joins us on the line, as she did last year at this same time, to talk a little bit about what is special for 2013. Hi, Gladys.
Hi, Randall. Nice to invite you.
Yes.
To your show.
Good to have you on the show again. So this is the first day of the month, so people cannot say they weren't forewarned. We can discuss everything happening from now through the very end. What are some of the highlights? I don't know how you want to do this, if you want to move through geographically or chronologically. It's up to you.
Probably geographically, but probably the first event I'd like to tell you about is the Wine Institute California Road Trip tasting in San Francisco on the 21st, because that is the place where we have 12 different wine regions all pouring in a single place. So if people can't get around the state, this is a great opportunity to taste wines from all, most of the regions. And of course, it's at a great setting at the San Francisco Ferry Building with artisan cheeses and fruits and prosciutto. And
Gladys, which day is that?
That's Saturday, September 21st.
Okay, and so you can cross the New Bay Bridge.
That's right, to get to it.
Take your very first exit, head over to the Embarcadero, and wham, you're there. I love that.
Right, and I know they're also giving away several trips for two to California wine country. So
that's fantastic.
It's a very intimate tasting, I think, about 300 people, and so it'll be a good chance to also perhaps win a trip and learn about wine with some of the up-and-coming winemakers that we have invited to the tasting.
Yeah, there's no better way to enjoy California wine country than to have it handed to you for free via a trip. I would love that. And as much as I think I'm an expert on California wine country, there are still regions that I have yet to visit. I certainly could delve a little more into the California foothills, that wine growing region there, the Temecula region I'm not very familiar with. I would love to dabble some more in the Santa Cruz Mountain region as well. So we're so jam-packed with wine regions, it's great. So let's continue in the Bay Area. There must be another offering in that realm.
Well, sure. The thing about California is that we make 90% of the country's wine, and so literally there is wine country just about everywhere. We have, of course, Napa, Sonoma, Mendocino, and Sonoma, of course, just this weekend is having their wine country weekend, and there are 200 wineries sponsoring all sorts of events, from cooking demonstrations and vineyard tours and winemaking dinners and parties at Francis Ford Coppola Winery in Chateau St. Jean. So that one is major, and of course it benefits charities. And then Mendocino has got their Wine Song charity auction and tasting, and that's really a fun event because you can walk through the botanical gardens, and there are tables set up through the gardens you can try food and then wine, and that's really fun too. So, and then further down in Livermore Valley, they've got their Passport Weekend, and so what's really nice is you park at one place, you get on a bus, and then they cart you to all the different 45 wineries throughout the valley for various events. So that's
good. So you don't have to drive.
Right. So you don't have to worry about that issue.
That is nice.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Santa Cruz has got their organic wine trail, and so of course, organic wine grape growing sustainability is throughout the state, but they have organized it so that you can learn about that aspect for those people who are interested in the organic wine growing practices.
Yeah, you can combine 2 months in one.
I was gonna say, that ties in nicely with the Organic Harvest Month.
Right, exactly.
Well, actually, I think every month is California Wine Month. But
yeah, well, we're not going to argue with you about that, Gladys.
But they picked September because it is harvest time, and so there's some special, interesting things going on. You can perhaps catch a glimpse of a winemaker working, or the grapes are being brought in and poured into the crusher stemmer, and of course there's the smell of fresh fruit throughout the winery. So, and then of course there's harvest parties and grape stomp events and things related to harvest. So
everyone has to do a grape stomp once in their life, I believe. You'll do it and then you're done with it, but you got to do it at least once.
I keep thinking of that I Love Lucy.
I was thinking of that too.
I think about a YouTube news clip of a newscast
that news reporter
of the news reporter who fell out of the wine barrel.
Yes.
Fortunately, she was not. She was hurt, but she's fine now.
It was the wine made it better.
Right. Right.
Right. But it's a fun time though. And then for the Napa Valley, they have actually are focused on being the sponsor of the America's Cup race in the Bay Area this month.
Mm-hmm.
And there's public access areas to watch the race, and Piers 27 and 29 is one of those places. And I know the Napa Valley has set up a wine lounge there, and you can try wines by the glass and light bites. So that'll be fun for those people who are sailing enthusiasts and wine enthusiasts.
On the Central Coast, Gladys, we have Savor the Central Coast. That's part of California Wine Month, is it not?
Well, that's their event, and it happens to be in September, and so we're happy that's going on because it is such a great weather time, and that's a major event with 200 wineries participating with cooking demonstrations and seminars and adventure tours. I think there's even zip lining, and then, of course, there's a fabulous party at Hearst Castle and also at Pismo Beach and Viña Robles Winery. So that one is not to be missed.
Yeah, not a single one of those events because it's a grouping of events. Savor is, and there's not a single one that doesn't include California wine in there somewhere.
Right, I'd love to get to that one. That's on my list, my bucket list. So, and then of course down in Southern California, they have really stepped up, and Temecula Valley is so close to LA, so they are really a destination, wine destination for that area, and they've got the Crush Annual Wine and Culinary Showcase happening on the 14th, and then a passport weekend where you buy a passport and you can visit wineries, 35 wineries, any time of the month on this one pass. So, and then of course there's the LA Taste event, and and even in the foothills there's the annual Lake Tahoe Food and Wine Festival.
Oh, right. So,
right.
I forgot about that. The foothills. They specialize in, I forget the name of it. Is it Barbera or
Barbera?
Barbera, right? And they have like a Barbera festival. I'm not sure if it's this month or not, but I know that.
Oh, really? I'm not even familiar with that one. I know that Zinfandel, Old Vine Zinfandel, is up there. A lot of the Italian and Rhone varieties. But that's a fun area.
Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic and just so beautiful as well. Not only does California Wine Month fall during the harvest, like you said, so you can, maybe catch a glimpse of some of the magic of winemaking, but this is one of our best weather months of the entire year. So, boy, that really
perfect for that. Yeah,
it's like hand in hand with wine tasting. So many wineries offer. My favorite thing to do is not to go wine tasting, but to visit the winery and utilize their picnic grounds. Buy a bottle of their wine, of course,
and enjoy a picnic.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, Gladys, I'm paging through all the events because you have literally pages of events for this month, and I noticed one in Lompoc, the library tasting. That sounds interesting.
What does that one involve, Patty?
It's at one of the wineries in Lompoc, which I think Lompoc is a little bit of kind of a hidden, not a lot of people think of wine tasting there.
Yeah, they have their wine ghetto, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. They call it that.
Right, so, yes, yeah. You didn't name it that. So yeah, library wines in our tasting room. This is with brewer Clifton Winery.
Oh,
well,
cool.
I would think every winery sets aside bottles from each vintage so they can do tastings that they can compare a single type of wine through each vintage. So it's a vertical tasting. I imagine might be what they would be doing with the library tasting, where they're pulling out the old vintages so you can compare how wines age for people who are really, into that sort of educational experience.
Yeah, it is an educational month, to be sure, and something not to be missed. If you want to find an event near you, if we didn't touch on something, discover CaliforniaWines.com for more information. Gladys Horiuchi with Discover California Wines. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you next September.
Okay.
If not sooner. Stick around, everyone. It's all about the skunk train coming up next. Hey, Central Coast Local.